Okay, today I'm in Lower Sycamore. I'm going to take a track around going west here to the river bottom and then up into north around Sugarloaf and back. I had to rebuild the stem bearings on my motorcycle a couple of days ago. My lower stem bearing was completely rusted. I guess some water got in there, and I mean, last year I did drown my bike a couple of times in the river and one time in a lake, and I got it running. But maybe I got some water in my steering stem bearing. Woo! And it didn't get back out of there. So I bought a stem bearing press tool from I think it was Amazon, and I bought a bearing press tool to push the races in. As you replace the races in your frame, and then you replace the bearings on the stem and on the top there. What was weird is my bearing on the top of my stem was completely greased. It was the bearing on the bottom got completely rusted and was kind of locking up my steering last week. That was a little dangerous, so I rebuilt it. It wasn't really a big deal. It took me like 3 hours. And everything is good now. I also moved my handlebars to the rear position. I ride with my elbows pretty high all the time anyway, but in the forward position it seemed to be working my forearms a little harder, maybe even creating some tendonitis. So I've moved my handlebars back into the rear position and reset the angle. I know everyone says to run your angle of your bars at like 0 to -1, but I actually like mine into like the +1. But so far it does feel a little bit better on my forearms. It feels like I'm able to keep my my forward body position. Ooh, better with just leaning forward instead of kind of pulling myself forward with my hands. So I think I'm going to keep my handlebars in the rear position, but still at +1. Woo, rock. Woo. It's going to be a little bit warm today. I've got the 3-liter hydration pack with a couple of packets of liquid IV. I'm starting out. It's about 60 degrees. I think it's going to be 85 later today, but I should be done. Third gear. Oh man! Oh! Whoa, whoa! Something's gone wrong. The drivetrain is separate from the piston and the crank. It's not going to stop the motor. Sheesh. Tire is most likely flat. It is a flat rear tire. Okay. I was just chronicling the carnage here. This is what my bike currently looks like. The motor is removed, and I
put all of the parts into these little bags. You can see here I've got parts for, these were for one side of the motor that I took off the clutch side, and then the parts over here, or this is everything I took off on the stator side. You can see the crank right there. It's in pretty good shape, like it actually feels brand new, but I bought a new one anyway. And I've got the case all in half. And here was my problem. What was making all my noises were right here on second gear. That's second gear. I lost a tooth. And then right here on third gear, I lost 2 teeth. And you can see all 3 of those teeth right here. So I'm going to have to buy a new second and third gear. I'm going to replace all the bearings in these cases right here. I bought a wrench rabbit kit, which you can see over there. I built some of these bolt cutouts here. So I cut out what the side of the motor looked like, and then I threw all the bolts in there so I get them all the right length in the right spot. Right? I've got a flywheel side. I've got one for the other side, and I've got one for my final. And if you look, I used wire brush on a drill here to clean up some of the aluminum. That actually turned out pretty good. If you look right here, the aluminum turned out pretty shiny there with that wire brush. So I've got the bike kind of cleaned up. I've got the wrench rabbit kit here with a new cam, gasket set, all new bearings. I bought the flywheel holder, the flywheel puller, and oil seal remover tool, and the flywheel holder tool there from Tusk. Those actually came in pretty handy. And I had to use a 1/2-inch impact wrench there to get a couple of the flywheel bolt, one of the other ones off. And then this Makita impact driver with an 8 or a 10 on it, I did everything else with. If you already have a Makita drill or a DeWalt drill, get the 1/4-inch impact driver. That made a big difference. Those things really help out. So I've sent my cylinder off to get rebuilt and recoated, but I won't get that back for like 4 weeks, and then this is all going back together and we're back out on the trail. So wish me luck.